Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Team Impact Monday night call. I'm Eilers-Heffner, Sapphire Ambassador, and I'm so glad that you're on. I know, it's Monday night. It's getting to be those summer hours, and so we want to be outside enjoying more. So I appreciate your commitment to being on, and it is not going to fall to the wayside. The commitment to your calls, to your business, it's going to pay off. So what I really wanted to talk about, I feel like a lot about helping our new customers, new VIPs have good expectations of what to expect with their products. So really, if you follow the 90-day customer care that we just revamped, we did that whole call on it with Rochelle Furman a couple months ago. And if you follow the file and you are really following that, your people are going to see the beauty and the cost, that the gold that they're getting in their products, and they're going to see that this isn't a quick fix. And I think we're all talking about that before people sign up. And so, but do we really talk to people about expectations as they're sharing and starting their business? So just a couple of things that have come to mind as I've been preparing for this. I also just want to remind you not to oversell on the products. Like, we don't want to oversell what we have to offer. So for instance, the 3-day reset. Yes, people are going to get huge results very quickly, which is super encouraging. But our job is to say, this is a jump start. This is a 3-day jump start to your health journey. This isn't like a 3-day reset and that's all that you need to do. It's really important that we also follow up with good gut health and good habits. And I really talk to people a lot of times about more protein in their diet to, keep those results going. I think that just the education on eating more protein is really, really beneficial for people. And then we want to just make sure that when we're talking about our products, that we really are saying, like, you're getting huge bang for your buck in our products, but we don't want to get into a convincing mode or into an overselling mode, so keep that in mind and use the tools that we have, like the onion post in Gut Health and Happiness about peeling back the layers of our healing, how cells take a while to regenerate. We've talked about this a lot on our retention calls. So there's that, and there's that train post that, the first month this happens, the second month this happens. So I that's what I call it. There's a picture of a train, the train post, there's a video that goes with it, the train post. So those, make sure that you're really getting that information to your people. And then the other one, last one I'm going to mention in our 90-day customer care, is that video by Fallon, where she's sitting on her bed, her hair's all piled up in a bun, and it's a video called like tips on getting your body balanced with plexus. And she really dives deep into the fact that we do need to detox our bodies, and that, that we can do some extra steps to support our body through detox while we're on our triplex. So that one's a really, really good one too. So if you haven't gone through and watched those videos that are in the 90-day customer care, make sure that you're watching them too. Okay, so now when we have someone that wants to start sharing, or we're encouraging them to share, we don't want to oversell the business, but we do want to cast a big vision. So this is a dance. This is something that you might have to learn, and that's okay. It's totally okay, because we don't want to sell people on, well, you can share with 3 people and make $300. Well, for one thing, someone might say, well, I don't want to, like, $300, like I can go work an extra shift at my job and make $300. Why would I open my mouth about this? That makes me nervous. I'm going to go stick with what is familiar, right? Or they don't want to work for $300. But when they see time freedom and they see that they can dream and they see this huge vision, then they might be more willing to work and be consistent. Okay. So knowing your people, asking a lot of questions to know how to best reach them is going to be one of the key points in that. I mean, it's not like a cookie cutter type thing that I can teach you, but I can say, ask a lot of questions, and maybe I don't even say it necessarily a specific number, but I'll say, have you ever thought of having an additional stream of income? And when they say yes, then I can say, well, how much per month would be life-changing to your family? And then they say, well, $3,000. And I'm like, that is super doable. That's Ruby. And, I make a lot more than that or something. Or you can say my friend Elizabeth or my friend Jackie or my friend Lauren. Like, you can name off other people that are higher and say they're doing it. And these girls worked full time and up until certain points in their business. Like, you can cast that vision that allows them to see like their goal is super doable, but there's also more, right? Taking it that one next step further. And then the other thing that I like to tell people when they're wanting to share or they're willing to put a post up or something, I just tell them, like, you never know who you might help. Like, there are people out there suffering and they have no idea what is an option for them out there. And then I also just let people know, like, hey, a post is a post. Like, Facebook is weird. The algorithms are not going to let every single person on your Facebook friends list see every post that you make. So allowing them to know, like, Facebook is weird, it's an algorithm. We have tips to beat the algorithm. Don't worry if no one likes or comments it. It doesn't mean anything. It means the post went up at a bad time. It means that you shared too many recipes before you posted your Plexus, and so no one saw it. It means that, people saw it and they just didn't comment. So letting people know whatever they're experiencing can be completely normal, because we all know we've been posting. And so we know that some posts get a ton of comments right away. Sometimes it just is like, wait, where are my people? Right. So, and it doesn't mean we're not successful. We're still successful. So letting people know it's okay. You know what? Somebody probably saw it and they just didn't like or comment. They're watching though. So let's put another post up, and then you're going to help them have that next step. Have you made a list? Like, I just want you to make a list of like 10 people off the top of your head that could benefit from income or health opportunities with Plexus. Let them do that. Okay, hey, we're going to put another post up. Go comment on those 10 people's walls so that they're going to see it. And then you're going to help them reach out to someone, actually talk to someone about Plexus, and they had them in mind specifically. Okay. So the other thing is, as we're starting this, is it's like starting a new job, right? So even if you have experience in your job, when you start a new place, it is still a whole new thing, even though the actual job duties that you're used to doing are not unfamiliar, but the environment is so unfamiliar that you're kind of all out of sorts, right? So when I'm a PT, I've been a PT for 21 years. So being a PT is not new to me, but a new computer system is new to me. Not knowing where the bathroom is new to me. Not knowing where to put my lunch, not knowing where the time clock is, like all the things, right? All the things surrounding my job where you're thinking of all of that and trying to learn, okay, wait, where was that place in the hospital I was supposed to go? What do I need to do? And if you think back to your very first job, you didn't know how to do the job. You didn't know where the bathroom was. You didn't know how to use the cash register, whatever. You didn't know anything. And so you're learning all of it. And by the time, so it felt like, oh my gosh, I just worked so hard to make that money. I can't even believe it. I don't know if I want to keep doing this, right? But you stick it out. And 2 weeks later, you're like, okay, that wasn't so bad. I got to do my job. I got my paycheck. That was fair. Like, that was fair. That was all right. It was not so bad, right? And so with Plexus, we're learning new skills. We're learning where to look in the team page for stuff. We're learning maybe to even use Facebook. Sometimes people aren't used to posting a lot, right? And so we're learning all this stuff, and you're putting this effort, and you get a join, and honestly, I was always excited for every time I got still do, every email, your team is growing. Here's a $5 bonus for a level that's down deeper. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cool, right? Like, I'm so grateful. When I get a level 1 join and I get a bigger bonus, a $35 bonus, like, I am forever grateful, because I'm sitting on my phone in my pajamas or watching my kids play at the park and answering some questions, sending a video. Like, it's amazing that we get paid to do this, right? Like, it's amazing. So anyway, the point is that you may feel like, or someone that's joining might go, oh my gosh, like I'm putting all this work in. I got a join, that's awesome, but I'm still doing all of this work. And it feels like you're working and working and working for the bonuses. And then your silver bonus comes in, which is honestly incredible that we get $300 for 3 people with those fast start bonuses. Like that's pretty dang, that is so generous. Not pretty dang generous. It is. It's so generous of Plexus to even do that. When we became silvers, Jackie and I, Lauren, we got $100 and we were like, yay, I got $100. Like, how cool is this, right? $300, you guys, come on. We need to tell everybody about that, number one. And then as you're continuing to work and now it's more familiar to do posting, oh wait, I need to send this on day 3. I need to send this on day 6 to my new person. You're getting used to everything. And so now, okay, your work effort and your paycheck are like, okay, that's fair. I'm putting this amount of effort in and I'm getting this paycheck. Perfect. But then you keep going, and you keep going. And then your effort is very consistent. You're still working hard. You're still showing up. But all of a sudden, your paycheck is growing and exceeding this effort that you're putting in, right? Because you're getting duplication, because you're getting deeper layers down, because people are doing what you're doing too. And then the payoff is huge. So it really does come to that. And we just need to help our new people that are sharing to see. And maybe for you, if you're like, okay, I just started sharing and I just like, is this really worth it? Is it really worth it? Do you know how many times Brittany and Fallon and Christina will answer that question and say, yes, it is? Do you know how many times Lauren and Jackie and I will answer that question and say, yes, it's worth it. It's worth it, because it's incredible how much we're getting paid for what we're doing, and we love what we're doing, and it doesn't feel like work. It doesn't feel like work. It's not like grudging through your job. And I love being a PT. I'll tell you what I don't like. I don't like politics and I don't like paperwork. So to be able to stay away from that stuff and to work with a company that's doing constant research and bringing out new products for us and helping us be successful, as well as our team that is helping us be successful, right? Then it's worth it. It's worth it. The only way not to be successful in this is to quit. That's the only thing that's holding you back, is if you just stop doing it. Okay. So waiting for that snowball. So a couple of things that I've addressed over the last several months, and I wanted to bring to you as well. I'm going to sneeze. Thank you, Pollen. It's way better than it ever used to be before Plexus, but sometimes. Okay. So a couple of things that I wanted to also cover is that we have these 4 pillars. We have recruiting, retention, so recruiting people, helping them to stay on their products, and duplication, helping them to also share and make a paycheck, and leadership. Okay. And so we can be working on these areas while we're still doing really well in one area. So maybe you're really good at retaining your people. That's an awesome skill to have, right? Like that's amazing. It doesn't mean that you don't keep working on duplication because you want to work somewhere else. It doesn't mean you stop retaining your people if you say, well, I really want to work on duplication. You still are going to keep retaining your people and keep following the steps to help them be successful. You're also going to work on your duplication. If you're working on your duplication and your retention, it doesn't mean you stop recruiting, because if you're not recruiting, you don't have new people to learn, to retain, and to duplicate with, right? And then leadership, you're a leader. If you're on this call, congratulations, you are a leader. And that's a huge step right there. And that's going to continue to grow as you're leading and helping more people. Being committed to your personal growth. And this is not like you have to read a personal, like, look at my shelf, y'all. Like, I haven't read all those books. Probably a third of them are there, so I don't forget that I want to read them. I buy them because I know I want to read it, and I don't want to forget the title and not have it in my hands. A lot of them I have read, but it's taken a long time, and that's okay. Personal growth can be 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day. Maybe on the weekends you do an hour of reading. if you love reading. You know, you can grow your leadership lid and you can grow that personal growth by being very consistent with the time that you have. Okay. So don't stress out about it. Like, oh, how am I going to do all of this stuff? Well, you're going to learn as you go, and you're going to learn that you're more capable of doing more than you realize. Okay. So don't stop recruiting, because if you're not, you just can't stop recruiting. You know, I feel like my team has been really good at recruiting really sick people. I've talked about this several times. And so we recruit people because we have these huge hearts that want to help people feel better and not be sick. But the people like me who have 3 autoimmune issues and we're really quite miserable, to overcome and to say, no, I'm not going to fall into this medical trap system, and I'm going to make the changes, and I'm going to change my diet, and I'm going to look for natural healing options until something works. That's not normal in this society. Okay. It doesn't mean there aren't those people out there. It doesn't mean you don't recruit sick people. You still do, but you also need to keep recruiting so you can find people that have a more positive mindset, or that will be willing to be coached into a more positive mindset. Okay. That's the disclaimer there. So you have to keep recruiting so you have more people that you can be excited with and link arms together and run this business to the top. Okay. And then posting about the business. So, and frankly, adding value. So Leah just covered a lot of that, like adding value, branding, like that is super important. So maybe you need to write down things that you find that you can add value in. Like she said, what can I talk to anybody about for a really long time? I can talk to a lot of people about a lot of things for a really long time, but I can't post about a lot of things all the time on Facebook, because then it's all like watered down. Right. And so I really like to talk about kids. I feel like I have a lot of value to add in having little kids and keeping them on a schedule and dealing with little kid issues. Like, I feel like I did that stage very well. I don't talk about it as much, which is something I'm realizing, like I actually need to go back and like talk about that, because I have a lot of friends who have little kids. And then I also want to talk about why I think sports for my children in particular are good, and the lessons that they're learning and the lifelong lessons. And so I feel like a broken record, but again, it's the algorithm. So not everyone is seeing every post that I make. So it's okay. And I feel like I do a decent job meal planning and keep my kids and my family eating relatively healthy on a decent budget with a variety of foods and vegetables and all that. Okay. So those are kind of the things that I'm like really working hard to be consistent with. And until the last month, working out. That's a whole nother story. Elizabeth needed a break. It's okay. And I'm okay. I'm okay owning that. And I'm okay saying, you know what? Like, I needed a break. I needed a break from my knee bothering me. And so the gym wasn't fun anymore when I was in pain. Right. And that's okay. I can say that. So anyway, but when you say like, hey, this was our yummy dinner of chicken parm and like whatever, like say it was an easy meal to make on a busy weekday with sports, and like add some value around that, not just the recipe, not just we made this for dinner. Maybe talk about, like Jade does, how she gets her daughter to help her cook everything. Like that's huge. That's amazing. So think about how this was a good meal. Why was it a good meal? And share a little bit more about that than just, well, this is what we had for dinner, right? Or you guys with little kids, you guys get a lot of attention. Like, take advantage of that. It's amazing. You get a lot of attention just showing your little babies and your cute little kids. People love grandmas, the aunts, uncles, the people that don't have little kids anymore. We love to see that. But you need to talk about what is going well in your day to enjoy your children and to get them outside. Why do you want them outside? What is important to you for them to be outside? Melissa does a good job talking about this too. She does a good job saying like the why behind her schedule and her routine with her children and how much better their behavior is or whatever, right? And so when you are busy and you're managing kids and a job and talk about your systems that help you be successful, because whether someone joins you with Plexus or not, showing them eating healthy, managing a busy family, that is going to add value. Okay. And then the other thing, posting about the business, I think I started to say this and didn't finish. So posting about the business, when we are posting like, hey, look at my pink drink, look at my pink drink, look at my pink drink, but then all of a sudden start messaging people about the business. And then they're like, all I see you posting is about a pink drink. So she must get free products for posting about her pink drink. She must be getting paid in free product. Like, I don't know what they're thinking, but that's kind of what I would think if I didn't see posts about the business. If I see posts about the business and posts about the products, then I'm going to say, oh, there's a business behind this and it's actual money, right? Like it's actual money. I just wrote a post yesterday about, I was at the pool with my kids on a Sunday afternoon with my husband and kids on a Sunday afternoon versus me being at work. Okay, so clearly I don't have to say how much money I make, but I'm clearly making enough that I could leave a job that I was working full time, right? And so people can draw their own conclusions. They don't need us to point out every little thing. And showing your lifestyle, one, is way more compliant than trying to give an actual number. And two, it helps people to see that they can do it too. So just keep that in mind. Posting about the business. If we didn't have a business, we wouldn't have good products to sell. So you have to kind of make this jump to realize, like, I have a business because I have good products to sell. Old Navy has a business because they have products to sell, right? The doctor's office is a doctor and has patients because he's a good doctor and he provides a good service. He doesn't have to name all the services that he provides. He gets a lot of referral on word of mouth. He can say, this is my location and I specialize in this. People will flock to him. They don't need to know all the X, Y, and Z and billions of treatment options that he may suggest, right? Those are individualized. So just kind of got to get over that little block in your head and be more open about talking about the business and sharing those stories. And even your dream and your excitement for why you're doing this business. So say you're getting started, and so maybe you don't have the paycheck yet that could retire your husband or retire yourself, but that's your goal and that's where you're heading. So share that too, because that is vulnerable and that's connecting to people and that's inspiring to people and that's going to help cast your vision. So anyway, those were some things that I just had in mind and wanted to talk to you. And I've said this to several people, like, listen, you're learning a new skill. It doesn't feel like you're making enough money for the effort you're putting in, but that's not always the case. It's going to, the needle's going to keep moving, and it's going to flip. It's like that carnival ride, right? Like, okay, here we go. And you don't quite get all the way up. And then all of a sudden it tips over. And so that's totally what happens in this business. And don't overthink. Sometimes less is more. When you're sending private messages like, hey, I'm feeling great on these products with Plexus. Have you ever heard of them? Just give a quick little message. It doesn't have to be this super detailed. Get people talking and you want them asking you questions back. Well, how did it help you exactly? And a lot of times people don't care so much about how it's helped us. They want to know that it's going to help them. So, all right, you guys, thanks for jumping on. Happy week. I'm so excited. We have so much to go on this month, convention coming up, all the things. So hang in there, and consistency beats intensity every day of the week. So being very consistent versus, doing a sprint one day a week and then going, wait, what happened? Being very consistent with your routines. And this is everything in our life, right? Consistency is going to beat intensity hands down all the time. So, all right. Have a good night.